Good hello friends and welcome to week 2 of the Owls. I just uploaded my week 1 vlog, so obviously if you're seeing this, the other one has been up for over a week now. But I realized in that vlog that I didn't do a lot of talking about my books. I did a lot of talking, just not about my books. And that's primarily obviously because I just didn't have enough time to read. Typical in my own fashion. Y'all remember how I said I was in season 2 episode 6? Yeah, it's now almost 2 o'clock on Monday, and I just finished season 2. Well, I was doing notes, granted. I was doing notes, but I finished season 2. So, I'm going to take a pause from Teen Wolf for a while. I have an exam to take right now, and then I have class for the rest of the night from literally 3:30 to 9:45 today. So, I'm going to get this exam done and then try to get some reading in, and then we'll see what the rest of the night entails. Hi friends, I'm actually in class right now. I have my video and my audio off. My professor's gone off on a tangent about, I don't even know what anymore, and I decided on Hoopla I was going to download Avatar: The Last Airbender. This is going to be for the potions prompt, read a book under 150 pages. I'm going to go ahead and read this while he's on his tangent and just continue the series. And I like I said, really have no idea what he's talking about anymore. It's my Shakespeare class. Like I really have no idea. I finished The Rift, books 1, 2, and 3. Each one is 80 pages, so technically it works for the potions because I didn't read the combined bind-up. Logic. It was a lot of fun, and it was really, really good, and we're starting to see the connections. We're starting to see the gap get filled between Avatar and Legend of Korra. And that's really exciting to me because we're starting to see more of the metal bending, we're starting to see more of the conflict resolution that's coming out of Avatar Aang being as Avatar-y as possible. So unfortunately with Hoopla you only get 3 borrows a month, and so I used my 3 borrows. I'm going to continue with Smoke and Shadow next month, and then we'll go from there. But that is it for Monday. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Wednesday, April 8th, and I started off this morning really great. I got up first thing and I took my dog out for a walk. Well, more like I took her out for a run and she took me for a walk. We ended up walking around 2.5 miles, and that was part of the challenge that my coach placed upon us to run 8 miles a week. So yeah, it wasn't difficult per se, it was just a lot. But the weather did clear up a little bit. It's still pretty gloomy, but you know, it is what it is. Obviously, I just took a shower, hence why my hair is wet. But while I do a little bit of hair routine, I wanted to talk to you guys about Saw Kill Girls, which I finished last night. If you follow me on Goodreads, you saw that my review was like, ugh, thank God this is over it. I was over it. It like really, I don't know, I don't understand the hype around it. It really wasn't that good. It was pretty slow, and although like, yeah, spooky, whatever, it wasn't enough to make me excited about the rest of the story. I said this yesterday and it still holds true. The fact that I thought that there were 4 main characters instead of 3 definitely shows you how much I care about these characters. Okay, and there was a lot of screaming towards the end, and like listening to it via audio was kind of rough because of that. But yeah, overall I didn't enjoy it enough. I gave it a 3-star, and that's pretty disappointing, but like at the same time I'm not really surprised, because when I was talking to my friend Juliet about it, I'll link her down below. She's been working on her own book for quite some time now, and I'm very proud of her, and she's one of my best friends and I love her a lot. But I asked her, I was like, okay, what do you think I should do for a book along the coast? I was thinking more Salt to the Sea vibes, but when she recommended Sawkill Girls, it was because this like rock island thing is happening. I really didn't enjoy it. I told her it wasn't my vibe from the very beginning, and although there were moments where I was like, okay, I can be convinced that this is for me, it just didn't. It fell through. I didn't have the highest hopes for it from the very beginning, but I was still pretty disappointed. And other than that, you guys saw that last night I was reading Lord of the Rings, well, Two Towers for Lord of the Rings, and I got to chapter 6 of book 2. So that means for Two Towers I am about 80% done, 80 or 90% done. I have 4 more chapters left. It has been flying a lot faster with me putting on the audiobook and listening and partially reading along and taking my notes that way. I just don't think, not to say it's not engaging enough, but for me to be actively reading every single word, because there's, like, honestly, Tolkien writes a lot. There are just so many words in every sentence that don't need to be there. And I get it, it's Tolkien's love of words. He's a philologist. There's an actual word for that, yes, a philologist. But besides the point, I am enjoying this a lot more, and it makes the reading experience a lot better. So I am really happy about that. But otherwise, we're gonna keep on trucking today. I don't really have any plans to start any new book at this present moment. However, I do want to start The Wicked Deep soon. And I think this will be a book that I listen and read along to, but not do other things while listening and reading along. I hope that makes sense. I'm gonna get the rest of this day started. Friends, so today started off pretty solid. My hair is definitely like on a it's doing its own thing today, but that's fine. I had to wake up fairly early this morning because I was anticipating getting an email from the foreign language test proctor at my university. I ended up waking up at 6 o'clock in the morning, then at 6:30, then at 7, and then finally being able to fall asleep until my alarm went off at 8:15. I sat for an hour and I took this Spanish placement exam, and I got placed into 3rd semester Spanish, which means I don't need to take Spanish because it fulfills that 1-year requirement that I have, which fantastic news. And then I got an email from my professor today saying that we won't be having class. It's great. I have my entire day to myself essentially. I do have to do some work for my internship because I had to cut my hours short yesterday. I, from that clip you saw, made chicken tortilla soup. I made this Armenian pastry called gata, and it's basically like puff pastry with like a sugar cookie filling. Was delicious. My family devoured all of it. And then we ended up watching 2 movies last night. One of them was True Stories of an International Assassin, I think. It was a funny movie. They're both on Netflix. And then the other one was some Jackie Chan movie that I don't even remember the title of. Both were comedies, both were a lot of fun. But I ended up coming upstairs pretty early and knocking out because I had the worst headache. And I had no idea why. So I came into bed, I read about a chapter of Nevernight, and I knocked out pretty quick. So I am determined to make today a little bit better of a day. We're starting off solid. I want to see if I can figure whatever my hair is doing out, but I'm excited. Today's gonna be a good day. I just finished filming a video. And, yeah. It's time to put these books away. So, got a package from my best friend. We, on March 31st, celebrated 7 years of friendship, and I told her she shouldn't get me anything, and she still did. So I'm going to go ahead and open it up now. These are so cute. They're a pair of Stitch ears. And they're super sparkly and so pretty. Oh my gosh. I just texted her and I asked her, and it's from Teeny Bee Boutique, and we're convinced that it's a like children's ear shop because they are like smaller, but these are so stinking cute. I'm gonna link this down below, but like, oh my gosh, and if you guys remember, I bought us these ears. These are Mickey and the Magical Map ears. Now we've both gifted each other ears, and it's really cute, and my entire heart melts because I miss Disneyland like a lot. But now I have new ears to wear, so I'm excited. I thought I would go ahead and put them next to the other Stitch that I have because they just fit so well with the blue books, and because this area over here is like way too crowded. I really need to, my bookshelves need some help, honestly. Like, I have lotion on my bookshelves right now. But yeah, I'm probably going to reorganize these next week because I have like my red books flipped and I don't like the way that looks, so yeah. In unrelated news to that, I finished The Wicked Deep yesterday, and I'm really, okay, I was really conflicted with how I felt about this book. So, if you don't know the plot, we follow Penny and Bo and Rose on the island. It seems like this town is in like Oregon, and each year the 3 Swan sisters come back during swan season, and they take boys for their choosing and they drown them. And it's a very dark, very delicious book, I thought. I read the first 160 pages when I was watching Lord of the Rings the other night, and I was flying through this. Like, it was so much fun, and the world building was great. And then you get to the second half of the book, and it's very centered around the romance, and so I get like a romance plot kind of furthering the story, but I just didn't care enough about Penny or Bo. I didn't care about Rose. I didn't care about the 3 sisters until like the very end. There was one chapter. So, like Ship, there's a bunch of in-between chapters between like the main story as a flashback. And I know a lot of people didn't like that, but I really enjoyed that element because it let me connect with the Swan sisters a lot more and understand their backgrounds a lot more without it being too, oh, the main characters are telling us the story. And like being able to see that, so that was great. But overall, I did give this a 3-star. Not to say I'm disappointed, I didn't really have a lot of high hopes going into this book because I heard so many mixed reviews about it, but I am going to unhaul it just because it's not something that I can, I don't know, like if I wanted to reread it, it would be by audio over like Scribd or Hoopla or something, and I would read it at a different time, like definitely not during the springtime. I'd probably read it in October. Overall, a 3-star read. I did enjoy it, I just didn't find myself really connecting to the characters or the romance. Yeah, I mean, it was pretty fun, and the little twist got me just a little bit. Like, I'd already pieced it together, but then I forgot about it. So when it was revealed, it was like, oh, obviously, yeah. So, I don't know. It was an okay book. I wouldn't necessarily recommend it, but I think this is something that, like, younger readers would like. I feel like I'm a little too, I don't want to say sophisticated in my YA, but like, it would probably appeal more to a younger reader who hasn't read as much. This was for the History of Magic prompt. I do have another History of Magic prompt that I have to do for my extra credit. The final book that I have to pick up for the Transfiguration prompt, read a book with shapeshifting, is The Curse of Dark and Lonely by Bridget Kemmerer. This, I think, is one of the biggest, I think it is the biggest book on my TBR, because Saw Kill Girls, Avatar The Last Airbender, and The Wicked Deep really weren't super long. So this is going to be, I think, the next thing to tackle. I would like to get this started today, but I do have 2 more Zoom calls to be on today. But I would like to make a good chunk of progress because the text is fairly big and like spaced. I don't know, if I could read this like 100 pages at a time, I do think that I could finish it, no problem. I have fairly high hopes for this, I'm not gonna lie, because Beauty and the Beast is probably one of my favorite Disney movies, but also one of my favorite tales in general. And I've realized that a lot of the books, 3 out of the 4 books that I picked are fairly dark, and I don't really know why, but they've been a lot of fun, so really excited to get into this. Hopefully today, if not for sure, I'm going to start it tomorrow.